Once you are done with the assembly, the next step is to create an exploded view. An exploded view is the finished product all separated out, all its parts moved apart so that you can tell how to put it back together. And it's very common in instruction materials that come with a product that you buy that isn't put together yet. So you'll see it in like IKEA furniture or in a lot of different things where you have to put it together yourself. The way we make this, once again, we have to choose a new file. So I'm going to click on New again, and this time what we want is a presentation file. This presentation file is an IPN. I can double click there, and you can see that there's only one option. When you can only click on one thing, you can safely assume that that's the thing that Inventor wants you to use. So let's click on Create View. I already had my train assembly in the background. It's already open, and so it's right here. If you haven't opened your assembly file already, you may have to go and find it using this folder, but I don't have to do that. And what I want to do before I click OK is choose Automatic as the explosion method. That'll tell Inventor to go ahead and try to explode it itself. It usually doesn't do a great job, but it's a good start. I'll click OK here. And it's asking me if I want to save my assembly, which I do. And you can see here it's already kind of exploded that out. Normally what we want in an exploded view is for it to look nice in this isometric view. So I'll make sure that I've clicked F6, and then I'll take a look at this. And it's done a pretty good job. I usually want my pieces to be separate from each other enough that I can tell very clearly what is going on. So one of the places where it hasn't done a great job is right here. When I want to move a piece by hand, I do a tweak components, which is up here, or I can press T. And you'll notice that when you select something, depending on where you click on it, the X, Y, and Z axes change. And it's usually Z is straight across or perpendicular to whatever plane you're clicking on. So when I click on this one, I want to move out that linkage peg. And in this case, it's Y is the way out one. So I'm going to choose my transformation to be Y here. And then when I drag it out, it'll keep moving in that direction. Whoops, and I don't want to choose, if I choose two items, I want to make sure to clear it and close it because I don't want to move two things at once. So let me try that again. I'll choose Y, move that out slightly, and then click close. And once you've moved it out a little ways with the tweak components, you can then click on the end of the blue line, which creates a green dot, and then I can continue to drag it in that direction as much as I want. So you only have to tweak it a little bit. So do here, choose Y again. Whoops. And that happens all the time. Exit out, press Control Z, try it again, because it's very easy to click the wrong thing here. So I'll say I want Y. I'm going to zoom in here, drag it out a little ways, click close, and now I can continue to adjust it. And about that far away is usually perfect for what I'm trying to do. I don't want to create too much space because it could be really long and it would be difficult to put onto things, but I also want it to be clear. I'm going to turn around on the back here, make sure everything is out enough as well. That automatic worked pretty well. If I want to move something out more, I can always just tweak it a little bit more. So I'll tweak this train stack, click on the top of it so that Z is up, and then just drag it out a little bit, hit close, and then continue to drag it until it's clear. And then I have that. Now, there's a couple of things I can do to save this to a presentation. I can export an image of it by going to I, Export Image, and then choosing usually a JPEG is your best bet. And I would call this Exploded View. And save it in my, I'll just save it to the desktop in my case here. Another thing I can do is animate it. Animating is right here. When I click on that, it pulls up a little window. When I hit play, you can see it'll, depending on how quickly you set the parameters, it will show it going back together. And it's going very slowly in this case. But you can see that being placed back together. If I want to record that, I can turn that into a movie by clicking on the record button. It defaults to a WMV. AVIs are great too. I'll save that on the desktop as well. Click Save. Say OK to all this stuff. Don't worry about that. Now when I press play, it's going to record it as it's playing. And then when it's done, it'll make a little movie file that I'll be able to watch. Once again, it's moving all these ones. It'll move all of the automatic ones at the same time. And then when I'm done, I can unclick record, and it has created a, let me pull this over here. It's created a movie file. If I double click on that, it'll open it in whatever program it uses, and I can even insert that movie file into a PowerPoint and show that as well. And that's usually not required. I do want to have, in most cases, at least an image of it, But that is how you create an exploded view with a presentation file.